Hey everybody, welcome to the Saturday news video. This is Ragdolls once again, and welcome back. I got a lot to say. So there's a lot for me to talk about with my channel, which I guess I can do on a separate video. But just to kind of summarize things, I worked way too much for me to try to balance this out. But thanks anyways for watching. I really appreciate it. But I can't keep up with it, and it's becoming way too hard. I'm way too tired at the end of the day, and I'm working way too many hours for me to try to do this as frequently as I am. So I'm going to try as much as I can to just put out 2 news videos for you as usual. But instead of having multiple stories in each video, I'm going to do my best to just do one quality story for you, so you can get summarized on what is the best, or what I think is the best story of the news that day, or that part of the week. And even if both of those stories came out the same week, I'm still going to do that. It's just going to make things so much easier for me. I'm already doing so much with all the working, but I want to get into the story anyway. So, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is an incredibly popular game. It's a battle royale style shooter, and I'm positive there's going to be mods for it. I don't know if there is a zombies version of it, but I think I've seen things here and there on YouTube. But I have watched a lot of gameplay for it, and it looks like a lot of fun. It's more of like a refined version of what H1Z1 brought to the table, and the mods for Arma 2. So if you've been paying attention to the news recently, or as of this week, Fortnite has recently stated they're going to put out a free version of the game, which is a Battle Royale style version of Fortnite. Now, Fortnite gameplay is completely different from PlayerUnknown's. It's much more cartoony. It kind of reminded me of a lot of Dead Block. I don't know if you remember that from back in the 360 era. But it's a game that's designed where you have to pick up resources and you build a fort and you try to fortify it as much as you can. And you have to survive a zombie invasion. And there's a slight storyline to it. I haven't seen too much gameplay about Fortnite, but it looks amazing. It's something that I wanted to pick up, but there's so many different games I got to pick up. I don't think I'm ever going to get a chance to play Fortnite. But immediately upon their report about the idea they're going to put out a free version of the game, I actually got excited because it gave me an opportunity to maybe play a little bit of Fortnite and a battle royale style until, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds comes out. So if you know who Greene is, he is PlayerUnknown. He is the creator of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So he works with Epic Games, who is the company that produced Fortnite, who uses the Unreal Engine, which is the engine that's supporting PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So with this advertisement of the free game, Epic Studios also stated, or at least gave some credit to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because I guess in my sense I took it as they were just wanting people to recognize the studio behind the idea of it. It wasn't essentially to steal from them, and it's a free game. It's a free version of the multiplayer. It's not something that you need to go out and make a purchase beforehand to play, but either way, Greene decided to post on, I believe it was Reddit or somewhere, that he was going to pursue legal action against Epic Studios if they don't take the game down, calling it basically a blatant copy or carbon copy of the game. And they even welcome, in a second quote, it says here, other companies will, of course, enter the marketplace, but I would just hope that they put their own spin on the game mode and not just make a carbon copy. Now, Greene has had a lot of experience in what PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is, that style of gameplay, because he worked with the studio that helped produce Arma 2 and many Arma 2 mods, I should say, and H1Z1. He worked directly with those who created H1Z1, and from that spawned his own game, which is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is not an original idea. His game is, in and of itself, a spin-off, which borrowed almost entirely from Arma 2 and H1Z1. So, for him to go about trying to attack Epic for using this format, to me, it just seems so hypocritical. and I can see why many might be calling this out. But if you look at a lot of gamers, a lot of them don't do a lot of research beforehand. They just simply see something and then report on it without actually seeing what the game is about. Now we haven't actually had a chance to really play the same version, I guess, on Fortnite. But it's a very similar format. It's 100 players. You parachute in on like an island-style map, and as more kills are progressed through the game, or more people make more kills, and the number of players dwindles, the map starts to shrink, the arena area starts to shrink, and the idea is to be the last player standing. That's the whole point of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And same with Fortnite. So, to me, it just seems like Fortnite really isn't stealing from the idea. There's just that big similarity, but the biggest change is that it's still utilizing Fortnite's main gaming mechanic, which is you have to build a fort. You have to build a structure to defend yourself with. So it does add that little bit of a challenge, which PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds doesn't have at all. It just seems very odd to me. There's a direct quote here. It says here that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds community has and continues to provide evidence of the many similarities as we contemplate further action. And basically saying that he's going to find a way to shut it down. We have also noticed that Epic Games references PUBG in the promotion of Fortnite to their community and in communications with the press. This was never discussed with us, as we don't feel that is right. I don't understand why that doesn't feel right to Brandon Greene. What is wrong with Fortnite referencing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? That's the thing that I keep feeling like, I don't know if this is just a societal standpoint, but recently with how sensitive everybody seems to be, especially on the internet, we have a lot of social justice going on. We have a lot of people really feeling like they have to express their feelings in a way that they feel is almost more important than others. In this sense, it's kind of the same thing. He doesn't feel that it's right that another game that has some similarities is referencing his creation, which in any other situation, this would be looked at upon as them giving at least credit for the idea, which that's what I took from Epic Studios referencing PlayerUnknown's. Is they're just giving credit to the idea. They know that it's not their original idea. It was just a kind of a fun ploy or a fun gimmick to throw into the game to maybe bring on some new players. But that's the point of competition. That's what drives innovation, is the copying of ideas or similar ideas being executed better. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is, of course, the more superior product. They are a better version of H1Z1 or Arma 2. They're of course going to be the better version of Fortnite's version of oh my god, I can't even think of what the hell, I just said it earlier. The arena style gameplay, Battle Royale. So I don't really know what Brandon Greene's problem is, because as all of us wait in anticipation for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, not once have I ever heard somebody say, you know what, I'm not going to buy it now that Fortnite came out with the free version of it. Nobody has said that. I think unanimously gamers realize that Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's are going to be two entirely different games. They're two entirely different creations, and Fortnite's free version of a battle royale is just a gimmick to kind of draw in some more players. It was a popular game for a short period of time. It's still popular, and it's not going to outsell PlayerUnknown's. I think PlayerUnknown's is going to be one of those titles that started out as an indie title and jumped straight to AAA. And I just don't understand Brandon Greene's issue. There have been a lot of issues with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds being pushed back, and other issues going on with the creation of the game. I think he has a lot more to worry about right now than worrying about if Fortnite's going to somehow profit off of this idea. And Fortnite's not going to garner any profit because it's a free version of the game. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments what you guys think. You know how I feel about it. I still feel like this is kind of blown out of proportion and that Brandon Greene maybe needs to calm down and maybe even be a little bit more grateful that somebody's trying to at least give credit to his idea, because all calling Epic Studios out did was bring more attention to the game. And if it's a superior product, then so be it. That's competition. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds isn't even out yet. It's been pushed back so many times. I can imagine that many of us are already still frustrated. I'm still going to purchase the game when it comes out, but I don't really care so much that the idea has been partially copied by another studio. And they're still using the gaming engine that Fortnite was created from, the company behind Unreal. So, I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. And be sure to tune in every Saturday and Wednesday for the most part. I'm going to see what I can do about staying on top of that. But otherwise, thank you so much.